What is the difference between reading for knowledge and reading for transformation? First and foremost, let's admit a couple things. If you're reading for knowledge, more likely or not, you're going to transform yourself in some way, shape, or form. You're going to transform from that reading. Any level of reading that you do, whether you are aware of it or not, you are going to apply it somehow. You filter that information and you now consider it to be fact or fiction. If you consider it to be fact, you will move as I need to do this because it's fact. If you consider it to be fiction, well, you're going to say, well, I won't do this because I know that it's not true. When you're reading and you have the knowledge, typically you've done that in some level of academia. You read about plants and living environment, you learn about earth science, you learn your basic level of rain, snow, clouds, sunshine, darkness, and how that all works. You've read and you have knowledge. Nothing wrong with knowledge at all. You actually need it. You need to have some basic of knowledge within anything. Because you were introduced to it in academia, the relationship may be you could have read it and enjoyed it, or you could have read it and was like, cool, I know this and I'm never gonna read about it again. Your typical start of reading for knowledge. What happens is you have to have a level of curiosity. When you're reading for knowledge, you are curious about this theme. If I just learned about the sun, I wanna know, how is the sun formed? Where do suns come from? All of these things. I'm gonna go read and get the knowledge of these things so that I can understand. But then your knowledge is complete. You now know how the sun operates, you know where they come from, you're good to go. But when you're reading to transform, you're reading because you want to now change yourself. You want to understand yourself. You have to have a serious conversation. You are going to pick books, or you're going to read books that are more catered toward you understanding something, and you're going to now then take that information, apply it. Let's say that you're now reading a book and you want to read a book about the importance of drinking water. You're probably going to say, how is water formed? Where does water come from? What kind of types of water is out there? What can affect water? All these kind of things are like the pH balance of water. Then you're going to ask yourself, which is the best brand of water or the best type of water for me to now consume as an individual? In this, you have now transformed yourself. You went from being someone that may have drank any type of water, right? Spring water, tap water, filtered water, alkaline water. Now that you have the knowledge to pick the best kind of water for yourself, you have transformed, because that knowledge, you now identified it as fact. You're not gonna drink that water anymore because you now see this information and this knowledge as these are facts. So I'm going to drink a specific type of water. Now, me personally, I'm gonna give you the recommendation of just drink spring water and you should be fine. Ideally, the water that you drink, it wouldn't be in any plastic. Try to put it in glass. The type of water, that's gonna be on you to find out. But again, I am only gonna give you this information and this recommendation because I've read things that I consider to be fact, and I've seen things that are rather fiction when it comes to your water intake. But that's the difference right there, without going too far, is information. I just want to understand things that I see in my day-to-day life, but reading to transform is I now have this knowledge, but I'm going to apply it. But if I learn about the sun, I'm not going to go out there and try to make a new sun. I'm just not doing that. But if I want to learn about water and its importance, because I know that it's important to me, I got to ask myself, what am I going to do with this knowledge? Am I going to sit there and keep drinking water that is not produced to the best of its quality? Or am I going to transform my life and only drink a specific type of water? When you're reading for knowledge, you're reading because you want to be informed. But there is no reading without transforming yourself. This knowledge is going to be applied into how you see your day-to-day. Whenever you read something and you filtered it out, fact, fiction, you are going to move in that direction. You're going to use that information until presented other. There is no in-between. You cannot read for knowledge and not be transformed by it. The human brain literally spends its time processing information, categorizing it so that you can recall it in the future. So if you read something, you may think, oh, I don't really care about it, but your brain has categorized it and uses it in its everyday operation, whether you are aware or not. In all honesty, there is no real difference between reading for information and reading for knowledge. The only thing that is different is how you use it versus how somebody else would use it.